Atlanta Faze versus New York Subliners today. I'm going to be breaking down one of the best SND matches we've seen all year long on Highrise SND. Going into this, you can see the records 3-1, basically 3-0. Basically, both teams pretty good at this map, but as you guys saw from the CDL, New York absolutely wiped the floor with them. So let's break it down, show you guys exactly what happened. Sit back, relax, and let's see how the pros play. Okay, starting off, one thing I noticed straight away, which I really like, okay, is the way Beezy and Simp work together. So you're going to see them both go underground, and you're thinking, right, this is a good play, especially in areas like this, right? Bottom blue is where it gets really mixy, because you have players where if you go by yourself here, the problem you get is, especially with no trophies, there's going to be a lot of trades going on. If you lose your first blood, it's going to be very problematic. So starting off, I'm like, you know what? I'm happy. The Tiny Terrors playing together. Let's have a kind of, just to look at and see the general kind of setup from both teams. So if we highlight the bottom left there, we can see Faze sending both people bottom blue. Then we have the right side, we've got Celium watching that. Draws are kind of sitting back glass, okay? So overall, in terms of map control, they're kind of leaning heavy towards this side of the map, okay? So they're leaning heavy towards the right side of the map, kind of getting this heli control, and then they're probably going to try making a play from there. Then we go to the other side of New York, and what they do is they've got a bit of a split here. Now, it's really important to look on the first round, because as we go over, we're going to see if this is a continuous setup, and this is how we can start to evolve and improve our gameplay. So we have one player there, one player there. So you have number 5, it's going to be Kismet. He's basically sitting left glass. You have number 6, it's going to be Sib, sitting in the middle. Then you have Skies, number 7 on the right. So he's going to be the right glass. Then you have number 8 kind of sitting around the A-bomb. Not the A-bomb, sorry. Kind of sitting, oh yeah, basically the A-bomb, their side of propane. Just make sure no one gets through. So in terms of initial map control, what you're really trying to fight for is this middle area, okay? So the red team is trying to get past this line. The blue team is trying to get past this line. That way you kind of are fighting for heli and propane. That's the kind of way I like to look at it on control and search and destroy. So let's carry on and see what happens. Starting off, they're going through the bottom. Like I mentioned, going to work together. I'm going to make a separate video of how the Tiny Terrors do play together, because I think their teamwork is on another level. Playing together for that many years, I think you're bound to get some teamwork, and they have one of the best I've ever seen going forward. So right now you can see there's not much going on, but again, the way the Tiny Terrors are moving, they're trying to get that first blood. You see number 8 there, it's going to be Hydra. So Hydra is basically pushed up, being that first layer of defense, okay? Now this is really important. They're going to try to bait Hydra here. Now when I say that, I don't mean it's in bait him for the death. They're going to try to allow the Faze to pinch on Hydra, and then they have everyone watching over him. That's what it looks like from this setup here. You see Hydra's pushed out, everyone else is trying to watch over the angles, making sure that if anybody pushes Hydra, they're able to help him out. So going forward again, you can see Faze are trying to make a decision here, and this is where it gets scary, because Hydra goes in, you can see he's by himself, but again, this is where the bait and switch really comes into it. As a BZY Charles, you see Kismet's on his right. Now this is where it gets interesting. This is where the best teams can really start to make a play. So let's go through and see what happens. So Kismet's on the right, Simp decides to slide through, Celium goes through and watches the top. So if we actually back off here and really just see what happened, it starts off with this play here, okay? Let's kind of get rid of everyone else and focus on the 5 players in play here. So it's going to be a BZ and Simp. They're going to be in this area here. You have Celium watching over. Now, this is what I love about the pros and the way they kind of have teamwork. If you look at this general area, nobody would think straight away, let me look up top. Well, I mean, I'm sure people do, but what my point was that in the game, I've seen so many scenarios like this, where number 3, in this case, which is Celium, which is number 4, so let me just switch it so it's easier, but ignore the arrows here, ignore the numbers, it just makes it easier. So right now, this player is Celium, okay? While Simp and Abizi are in blue, so while they're in blue, Celium is just thinking, right, realistically, I need to watch above them, and that's what I like so much. He doesn't watch what they're watching, he's watching above. That way, if anybody tries to make a pinch, he'll be able to kill them, and that's exactly what New York was setting up for. If you see number 5 here, which was Kismet, Kismet's going through, he's trying to distract the Tiny Terrors. So right now, they're in a bit of a weird spot. You see they're kind of distracted, and this is where Hydra and Kismet start to make a play. So you see Hydra's plan now, and Kismet's plan is to keep them trapped in blue. Hydra's going to go through, try to pinch them, and try to just get a trade here. And that's exactly what they tried to do. But as you see from the minimap, Hydra goes through. He's on top now. They don't know where he is. He ends up going through, and he ends up dying to Celium. So I think Hydra right there, definitely high risk, high reward. Didn't quite work out in that case. Great cover from Celium. So I guess that wasn't the best play from Hydra, but what I'm thinking is they saw two people here. So you can see right here, Kismet sees two people. I'm assuming, again, this is all an assumption. I'm assuming that they called out, right, two people in blue. Hydra's going for the pinch. I don't think he expected the third to watch over them. So again, I think a great play from Faze to get the cover. Really good stuff. They get the first blood. Now, Kismet is key here. He's just by himself. As we just saw, Hydra has died. Now, how do New York win this? Because for me, this is insanely impressive, okay? Hydra is out of the equation. It's now a 3 versus 4. Let's go through and see exactly what they do. Because if we look at the minimap now, like I spoke about with the map control, they have no map control. The whole of New York is kind of stuck in their base. For me, the round is won or lost with Kismet here. If Kismet dies here, the round is lost. Why? Because they just have so much A control. There's 4 people from Faze. This round is over. So if you're the player here, if you're number 2 right now, which is Kismet, you have to stay alive. You have to play alive. Let's see what he does. He goes through, slide cancels, and instead of backing off, he actually gets aggressive, which I don't mind. I just think it's very, very strange from Faze here, in my opinion. I think right now, honestly, fair play to Kismet. I didn't expect him to do this, but I think normal people would retreat there. But I guess Kismet understood the scenario where if he backs off, they have complete like map control. Faze have complete map control. So instead of backing off, he decides to push through and kind of just take the fight towards Faze. And I love this play from him. And I guess Faze slightly overthought this one. They get the first blood, and I guess they thought, right, instead of taking the bomb site, which again, they might have not known that they had full control, I'm assuming that they decided to back away and kind of repinch. So right now, this play from Simp to go over, I absolutely love it from Kismet. He catches him off guard. He's able to get the kill. And this is where I think could have been slightly better here. As Simp is backing away, considering they knew that Kismet was playing this back area, I think aBeZy needs to provide slightly better cover fire, okay? So I think they go through, look at this play. He gets the kill. Really good shots there. Now, what have they done? Kismet's allowed them to, 1, push up the map. So like I said with map control, they now have this area of the map, right? They now have this side of the map. Instead of being trapped here, they can now push up a bit, and they've taken out Simp. So really, really good heads up play from Kismet. Now they're going to go through, and the tables have kind of turned now. Skies is pushing up, Kismet's pushed up, and now the map control has gone in the favor of New York. And this is exactly why I talk about map control. Right there, Kismet made such a good play. Instead of retreating, he played his life well. He held his angle. He knew that Skies or Sib had his middle map, so all he had to do was worry about the left. He goes through, he gets the kill, and allows the team to push up. Really, really good stuff. Let's go through, see what happens there. Now, by the way, I will not be analyzing every round in this much detail, but I just thought the first round is really important to see the setup from New York to see how they play. Again, team shots, I just don't think you can be team killing. Yeah, I think this is really, really unfortunate, but at the same time, you just got to be a lot more careful there from the side of Faze. Skies, look at the way he plays his life. The bait and switch is so good there. They go through. Unfortunately, Sib was weak as well, and just like that, you're just finding the trade. So for me, the key player in this round was number 5, the Bulldog, Kismet. While the fights are going on the right, you can see Kismet making the play on the left here. He's going through. Skies backs up. Now, I think, again, in terms of bait and switch, I think this was excellent from New York. The only problem you have was Sib's health was low. So if you watch this, right, Skies is going to back away. As he backs away, look at the arrows here. Sib decides to replace him and watch his back. Basically baiting an aBeZy. So exactly what you wanted to see, but aBeZy, fantastic centering, goes through and gets the kill. I do think if Sib had full health, he does get that kill. But now we go through, and what we're seeing is a slight pacing difference. So if you look on the minimap, Selim and Draza died there. aBeZy pushed up all the way, but Kismet, what an angle. He takes out Selim. Right there, if Selim's still alive, this is a completely different round. So they know where aBeZy is. They know aBeZy's trapped in this area here. aBeZy kind of knows where Kismet is, and he kind of knows where Skies is. So at this point, you're thinking, what can aBeZy do? There's not too many options, to be honest. He's going to go through. He knows roughly where they are, but not exactly. And let's just see how this one plays out. So he does have the bomb, 30 seconds left. And again, let's look at the minimap. The way New York are playing this, Kismet and Skies, the world champs, they're not going to take any risks. They're going through together. They're playing the trades together, and I absolutely love this. So many times in ranked play, I see people play their 1v2s completely separate. They have one on A, one on B. I personally prefer taking them up together, working their angles, working the trades. So as Kismet's going through and watching the back, Skies is watching the middle. He actually spots him, and he's able to take him out. Fantastic round 1 out of New York. Again, Hydra goes a little bit rogue. Maybe it's a team play, team call. High risk, high reward doesn't quite work out. But Kismet, for me, absolutely phenomenal round. Let's go through to round 2 and see what happens. And I believe Kismet doesn't die this whole game, so I'm sure he has an absolute insane game going forward. Let's see what happens. Again, Hydra. So similar process, but this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to take the route and see the difference in the setup. So we started off. Let's just look at the bottom left there instead of going to attack maps. What we saw from New York was, on the round, we had somebody on this left here, with somebody in the middle glass and somebody on the right glass. The only difference you have now is instead of watching middle glass and the left glass, Simp has decided to go underground. So instead of Simp sitting on the left glass, he's gone underground. So again, just a slightly different approach here. Number 2, Abizi, playing the exact same as Hydra, but this is where Hydra once again is making the play, okay? So Hydra and Sib going through the right, and you have number 7 and number 5, Kiz and Skies going through the left, but let's see what happens. So I'm really just paying attention to the minimap right now. Selim goes through, and now you can see I actually think I like this setup more. I don't really know, to be honest. The only difference in this setup is basically number 3. So let me just show you kind of the only difference, right? So in terms of setup, so New York setup was basically like this. So if we look at the red team, this was kind of New York setup. If you look at the red team, this was their New York setup, okay? Forget the offensive team. If you focus on the left hand side of the map here, this was New York setup, okay? They had one watching left, one kind of sitting around heli. This player is basically the most important player for me in this whole setup. He's the one who's going to try and make the play, get the first blood, and as you guys could see, it was Hydra and Abizi, both probably the best players in the game. Well, not Abizi right now. Anyways, let's move on. He's absolutely insane, but just with the meta, I mean, he's not shown off as much as recent years, but I'm waffling. Let's go through back to the point. Going forward, so like I said, this is kind of the optimal setup, but what they had instead, Faze, they had Simp, instead of sitting here, he actually sat underground. So it's just a slight tweak to the setup, and I think it just depends on the way you want to play it. I think both setups have their pros, both setups have their cons, but let's go through and see what happens. Now, Selim's going to go to the right, so Selim's got the right, so no one actually has the middle right now. So they're going to go through, again, all about that first blood, so let's kind of wait. Now, Hydra's playing this very, very interesting for me. He's not really pushing up too much, he's not really going rogue, and this is why I think the setup could have been better. So right now, if you look at this, look at number 6 on the minimap. He's going across there, which I think is extremely risky because number 3, they don't have information where Simp is. It looks like they don't know where Simp is, and for me, Simp could have been around there. Well, I actually got the setup wrong. They actually didn't have somebody there. They actually had somebody there. So the 2 options they could have had is somebody there or somebody there. Those were the 2 setups. Where Simp is over there, I think he could have easily kind of jumped across and tucked himself in a corner. So I think the play from Sib right now, sorry, did I get the names wrong? This will be Simp, right? So Simp is actually sat here. I think Simp could have easily tucked himself in a corner. And I think right there, Sib kind of went rogue a little bit, in my opinion. Like the fact that he just slid in. Again, I don't know what information they have, so I could be completely wrong. But yeah, you can see he dies right there. Me personally, I don't love this play at all. He has no one watching over him. I like the fact that he's trying to make a play, but I don't think this was the best play. Without any information, without much map control, he's kind of gone rogue and he's gone into the setup. Again, these guys are all pros. They're completely better than me. The point is just trying to analyze their game. So you see Kismet goes through, and I really think that was a bad play from Sib there. But again, 3v4, this is a round where Atlanta Faze, in my opinion, should be able to win it. Let's see what happens. So Kiz is going to go through again. The way he backs away there, I think is amazing. This is one of those plays which I think is incredibly underrated. Anyone normally that slides into this position, I feel like 9 out of 10 times they're going to be dead here. For him to have the analysis, to understand the scenario he's in, and to straight away back away, I think is incredible. Because he either gets that kill on Simp and dies to Abizi, or he just dies to Simp and they lose a round. The fact that he was able to back away, Draza wins his one on the left, is a really good play, and Hydra still hasn't revealed himself, and this is the play. Look on the minimap, Hydra with the timing again down to perfection, allows Selim to move away. He's going to go through. Let's focus on the minimap here. Hydra is now pushed up. Selim's gone to the right here. Why? To pick up Draza's position. It's like a chess match. They now have complete control over the right hand side. So what is important right now for me, Skies has to play his life. He has to get information, and he has to buy time. Buy time for Kismet and Hydra to push through the right, and this is where the chess match kind of pushes through. Look at this. Sky sees one, backs away, and this is kind of what he's doing, but you can see Hydra pushes through. So again, just the coordination for me is perfect. So let's go back and see what happens. Skies calls out Selim back left glass. While this is happening, you can see Hydra is pushing through. So if we look at the minimap, as Skies now knows, Hydra should have Selim done, okay? Hydra's got Selim. That should be an easy kill. He now focuses his attention to the right hand side. He knows that the red dot is going to appear top propane. He knows he's getting called out. He's now looking for information. As this happens, look at this. Hydra gets a kill on Selim. They now have the rest of Faze trapped in B. As this is happening, Kismet is planting the bomb. I think this is just an excellent transition from the round. You see Abizi on the right. He calls it out to Skies. Skies goes through, again, playing his life here. Now, this is where I really think the pros are just different level. Forget every other thing, but the fact that the way they play their lives right now, look at this. The bomb is down at A. You do not need to go rogue here. So we saw it with Kismet. He played his life really well. Now we're seeing it with Skies. He understands right now. He could probably win this gunfight on a BZ, but if he takes it and he loses, he's giving it his team 40 seconds to win a 2v2. Instead, look what he does. He buys time, he distracts the opponents. They now have to push him, and you can see Hydra is watching over from the angle, and there you go. So right there, I think what he did to start that was really well, and I think this is where he went a bit rogue. So I think what he did now, in my opinion, was fine. I think I'm really happy with this. I think in hindsight, he should have stayed here, especially because he's given time a BZ time to react here. I think he stays here, lets a BZ work for it. A BZ pushes him. Even if he gets a kill, he buys another 5 seconds. By then, Hydra should get the trade. So I think Skies went a little bit rogue there. I think he either challenges straight away. So I think challenges here, or he stays alive here. Because if Skies stays alive here, look what happens. There you go. If Sky stayed alive there for 2 more seconds, we would have seen Hydra get to this angle and get the 2-piece. And that is the decisions that I think just separate the top teams and the best teams. Now, again, I'm being very, very picky. I'm literally sitting in Codcaster. I can make the best plays for them. It's very easy. And I'm sure if they watch it back, they think the same thing. I'm not trying to like criticize them. I'm just saying what would be the best play with the information that we have, so hopefully we can get better. So I now know, right, if I'm Skies in this scenario going forward, if I'm playing rank play and I'm one shot here, I'm gonna wait here, tell my teammates, go to the right glass. So Hydra right now is doing the best play. He's watching over, he's trying to get the trade. So I think this is just a really good play. He goes through, he knows the BZ's on the right, he knows Simp is there. They now go through together. And again, they're just gonna shut the angles down. They're just gonna shut them down. And I love this play. 30 seconds left, they're gonna go through, they're gonna watch across the middle. Kismet gets the top middle here. And the way they pinched them now, I think is really, really well played. That was actually quite unfortunate. Honestly, that was quite unfortunate. If Kismet looks like he's right there, they literally win the round there. But anyways, he goes through, 25 seconds left, so fair play from Faze there. I thought the setup was good from New York. They kind of went rogue. It's now a 1v1, 25 seconds left. Now Kismet, he's in a scenario where I personally panic a little bit. Is a BZ going to be in the bomb? You don't really know. You do have to kind of check it. A BZ has about 4,000 foot of land to clear. And it's just about the timing right now. It's just about the timing. Kismet goes through. He doesn't know if he's on the bomb. He's going to play his angles perfectly. And luckily enough, a BZ doesn't jump on the bomb. Kismet ends up winning the round 2-0. So perfect stuff there from, I wouldn't say perfect. I think it was really good stuff there. However, Faze almost clutched that one up. So it started off a bit rogue from New York, brought it back, and then Faze kind of, I don't know, kind of threw it towards the end, to be honest with you. But anyways, let's go forward and see what happens there. So far a BZ 4-1. On the other side, you have 2-2. Sib not really doing too much right now, but not the end of the world. Going forward again, if you guys want to learn nade spots, stun spots, this is a really good way to do it. You can just see, right, a BZ stunning that. Okay, does he hit anyone? No. Okay, so this is how you can learn different spots. Okay, cool. So he stuns through the stairs. Again, little ways to learn stuff. Going forward now, Kismet, same thing, but this is the adaptation from New York. Instead of sending one back glass, they're playing more of an aggressive approach, and I love this. I'm not going to spend too long analyzing the rest of the rounds. I just wanted to do one big defense from both teams to see their natural setup, and now we can kind of fast forward and see how they tailor it. So Sib goes through. Let's see in the minimap. Where does Sib go? So Sib is actually sitting underground or something like that. I think he's on B. He gets the first kill, and now Selim's at the back. He sees Skies, and I mean, he gets Skies one shot again, backs up. And right now, I think the biggest thing you have is after that first blood, it's just about the map control. They don't really have a lot of map control. They're kind of trapped in their base here, and it's just about getting out effectively. And you can see Skies has got the whole left side here. So as Selim slides out, you kind of have to team chow this. Skies has such a good angle. They don't have any gaps in their current setup. It's at the point where you have to team chow this. He goes through, dies to Selim, to Skies, and now this round's basically over. A BZ's going to go through. You can see he doesn't have a lot to work with. Hydra's watching the middle. Skies has the right. Sib has underground. Kismet has the left. There is no worries from New York right now. This round is a staple. You can see they've got everything. Hydra's watching the middle. He's kind of watching both right now, which I don't mind, but it's just going to come down to timing. And you can see now that Sib's got it, it's going to watch the middle again. And this is literally the setup you have right now. Skies has your far right. Sib has your full flank. Kismet has your whole left. Hydra has 2 things to watch, and this is where the trouble might happen with timing. He has to watch his middle here, and he has to watch his right ladder. I think you could get in trouble with this setup if somebody pushes the ladder, but right now, good stuff from them. The only thing I would say is Skies can kind of see the area, so he can kind of watch over it. And I mean, I'm very happy with the setup. You see Faze trying to make a play. They don't have much room to work with. Kismet gets one, play his life here. Simp is by himself, and he gets a 2-piece. So fantastic play from Kismet. Gets the first kill, repositions. There's no time for Simp. He goes through and he gets the kill. Going over 3 rounds in a row, absolutely flawless from NYSL. That was probably the best out of the bunch. Just going through and yeah, just taking over, man. You can see Kismet doing a phenomenal job on that left side of the glass, not really allowing Faze to progress through the map. So the only difference so far I would say is I think NYSL have been really efficient with their first bloods, where Faze got 2 first bloods in a row, and I think they just didn't do enough work with it. Now, interesting, other side of the coin here. Hydra and Kismet going bottom blue. We saw this in the first round of the Atlanta Faze. How are they going to deal with it? Again, MWIII in the same setup here. You have Celium in the same setup again. Simp kind of underground. Draza on the right side. So very similar defense setups for the first 2 rounds from Faze. Let's see what happens there. So Hydra's going through. Again, it's about the patience right now and trying to get that first blood. Sib's one shot. What does he do? He backs away. This is interesting because I want you to watch what happens there. So while Sib is one shot, I think they have to know MWIII's playing those stairs. One, Hydra plays it all the time, so them knowing it's such a power spot, I think they just have to be aware that MWIII's there. And another thing is just the fact that MWIII's played it multiple times, okay? So this again just comes down to the research of MWIII loving that spot. I think they have to know that. Sib goes through, he's absolutely one shot. Sky is trying to watch over him, and this is where the balance comes in. MWIII makes Sib one shot, ends up killing Skies as well, and now they have the information. So again, you expect Faze to win this round. He knows where he is, and this is my point here. I think the setup they have now, you can't let MWIII die right now. You really can't. MWIII is in a vulnerable spot. He gets one, and the way they need to play this, in my opinion, has to be tailored, okay? Because if Hydra's going to sneak across there and get the angle, they have to be aware. For me, this is an insane heads-up play from Hydra. He doesn't expose his whole body. He watches it from an angle, and he takes out MWIII. So the trade goes in, and I think it's a really good play from Hydra. They know Celium's at the back, most likely, because he's been playing it quite a lot. And Sib goes through and gets Draza. So just like that, you've taken out MWIII, the main player in the middle. You've taken out Draza, who is propane. You automatically know, right, Celium likes to play back left glass, and Simp likes to play underground. So you have a rough idea. So now they're going to go through and look at the minimap, okay? You have Hydra and Kismet playing together. So they're going to go through, they're going to play together, and while this is happening, you have Sib kind of watching over, okay? So they're going to go through, and there you go again. They see one. I think this is a very aggressive challenge from Sib, personally. In my opinion, I think this is a very aggressive challenge from Sib. I think Sib normally would win this one, to be honest with you, just the way it's positioned. But fair play from Sib. Great chow. Takes him out. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it worked out. Going forward, they know that Celium likes to play the right-hand side, so they've taken over the left-hand side, and that's exactly what's happening. They're watching the right. They know exactly where he is, or exactly where he should be. They go through, and Celium sees Sib there, I think. He should see Sib, okay. Unfortunate there, but I think at that point the round was too late. So the biggest factor for me there, Hydra taking out MWIII. I think that won the round for them, to be honest. I think Hydra taking out MWIII. I think the other AR battles kind of go either way. You see Draza win one, you see Skies wins ones. Those are just kind of the AR battles that go head to head. But that play right there, as soon as MWIII gets the first blood, I think they have to protect him a bit more. They have to have that blue area covered, and they cannot let Hydra get in for free, get that kill, and get out. I think MWIII is way too valuable there. The guy's got 5 kills. I think you have to protect him a bit more there, especially on those heli steps. Going forward, what's the play here? So 3 people from Faze taking the left hand side. The only problem is you have number 7 Skies and number 6 there trying to watch over, and now you can see again the bait and switch from Skies and Sib I'm really impressed with. So if you look here, Sib is actually watching underground and Skies is watching the right street. As soon as they see information, Sib backs off to help him up, and now he's going to help Skies. And I just love the bait and switch from them to go through. But what we just saw there was excellent team nades right there. 3 people from Faze going to the left, using their equipment to take out Skies. And again, we have the man advantage. So now they go through. What is the play? Well, they expect to be calling out here. They know Sib is also at the back here. And for me, again, this is the gunfight. I don't mind MWIII going rogue, but I just think right now the disconnect is too much. I really prefer the 2-2 split here. What you're seeing right now is a big problem, I think, in this specific example, okay? I think MWIII is going to set his pacing to the level he wants, and in my opinion, he's the best SND player in the world. I think you just let him do what he wants, but you play around him. What I've just seen right now is 3 Faze members here, okay? I've seen 3 Faze members here, and I've just seen a BZ go and push the ladder by himself. For me, the disconnect is too much. They've just taken out one player here, right? They have the advantage. I think a BZ goes rogue here because what happens is he basically guarantees a 1v1, and you don't want to play the 1v1, you want to play the 2v1 here. You have the man advantage. So right now, my only problem with this is once the nades went through, for BZ wants to go up top, he needs some support or he needs to slow down. He either needs to wait for his team right there, or he needs some support. Like, he either goes with somebody or, I mean, that's the only option, to be honest. This, for me, is not the way the best team in the world should be playing. You don't have one person go up the ladder and 3 people watching this angle. I just don't love this play. He goes through, and look what happens. There's not a lot of information. So he slides across. He's trying to test his luck. Hydra, what a play, gets the kill, goes through, and now they're back in a 3v3. Not only are they in a 3v3, they've lost their only player out in the open, and now they're kind of trapped in. So what started off as a really good scenario has now kind of left them trapped in, and at the same time they have an escape route through their spawn. However, if you look at the minimap, it's number 5. It's going to be Kismet, the player who was playing left window. He's identified the gap, he's gone through, and now this is the problem. They have them pinched in. BZ's dead, Skies is dead, but now they've got Kismet there, they've got Hydra there, and they have Sib there. And what this does is this gives you a picture in their head. They now know FaZe are trapped in this corner. So Kismet's gonna have the information to the back for kind of if they want to regroup. Sib and Hydra together will have the information on B and underground, and they basically just have the advantage here. Let's see what happens. So they're going through again. I think a BZ went too rogue there. Hydra's gonna get out, and again, I just love the play from Hydra, playing his life, identifying the gap there and getting out. So there's a few things that go on right now. For me, I think they know 3 people are at B. Okay, getting out for me is a smart move. I think you just take the risk if you stay in. I think Kismet could have played this slightly better. I think 99 out of 100 times, Selim gets his kill. So I'm going to say I think Kismet messed up here. I think he went over aggressive. And I do think Selim gets his kill 9 out of 10 times. Maybe 99 out of 100. The fact that he fried Selim there was, I say this in my coaching sessions all the time, this was an excellent kill from Kismet. It wasn't necessarily the right play. Okay, because I think Selim gets a kill there, and it's a 3v3, and it's not the best play. And I'm sure Kismet would agree. I don't know. He probably thinks I'm stupid, but in my opinion, this was the wrong play. He gets over aggressive, and he gets away with it because he absolutely gunned Selim there, which I think doesn't happen very often because Selim is insane. This is one of those games where I just think the momentum, when it's 4-0, you can just see the mental battle start to creep in, and for some reason, Selim just misses the shots. But again, what have they done? They've now trapped them in the right corner. Sib as the back. Hydra has a whole underground. They know exactly where they are. They're playing their life to perfection after that initial gunfight, and they're going to go through. Now again, as Kismet goes through, Hydra's going to flank, and now they have them trapped. So if we look at the mini up again, they should have the comms now they're trapped in. So I'm expecting Kismet now. So Kismet's kind of flanking through. All I'm expecting right now, with only 2 people from FaZe up here, is I'm expecting Kismet to kind of go through and watch the stairs here, and they kind of just trap FaZe on the bomb. That's what I'm kind of expecting here. Let's see what happens. And that's kind of what happens here. So you see he goes through, like I mentioned, Kismet's going to watch the stairs here, making sure no one can kind of escape. Hydra gets 1, he makes him 1 shot, and just like that, Sib as well is able to get the pinch. So they have 3 people watching the angle. Just so you guys know what happened, Sib was watching this window here, this little gap here. Hydra was going through the edge here, and what's his name? Kismet had the other window here. They basically had everything covered. They go through, perfect pinch. Straight away he repositions. Again, I think he went a little bit rogue here. I think in this scenario, if you think a BZ gets away, most likely he's gone underground because Sib either calls that out or something. So I think right now you don't need to get aggressive here. You can see he's probably in blue. If I was guessing right now, I would say a BZ's in blue. I think Hydra went a little bit rogue here. You can see he kind of guessed blue as well. And he just took the fight to a BZ, which I don't think he needed to do. Kismet's going to watch the read. He's going to watch the repinch. And he's going to get the trade. So I think that got a little bit scary there at the end, especially with the angle Hydra took. I think a BZ could have won that against Kismet. But overall, good round from New York. However, I think FaZe trolled that again, man. I really do think FaZe trolled that. I think a BZ got... Was that the last round? Am I faded? I can't remember. My brain's gone all over the place. It's been half an hour. I've been breaking out 1 SND. I apologize. If you guys enjoyed the video so far, then make sure to drop a like and subscribe, by the way. We're going to do more daily breakdowns of the pros. So sit back, relax, and drop a subscription if you are new here. Going forward, again, this is what I mean. The players are going rogue. We know the timing. Atlanta Faze know the timing as well. Why do they know the timing? Well, the very first round, what did we see? We saw a BZ. Oh, let's go in road. Let's get my OBS. We saw a BZ and Simp take this very route. We saw them go bottom blue in the first round. What were they doing? Well, forget everyone else for me. I want you to focus on this area here, okay? This is what Simp and BZ did the first round. They went together and they watched the push through. I think Simp here has just made a play you make when it's 5-0 up. I do not think this play is one you make in around 11, or you do not make this if you're 1 and 5. This for me was an absolute just mental checkout, which is, again, it's okay, but it's just one of those where this was just not the correct play, and I think it was fairly obvious. Hydra is, when you're watching this spot, you don't really think someone's going to push it. It's just you have to watch it in case they do, but no one really pushes it like this. Hydra's on the head glitch, Simp slides in, and it's just like a free kill for Hydra. I think it's a terrible push. He gets the death, and now they just have nowhere to go. Kismet has a cruise, gets the information, and again, they're just gone rogue. Now, number 2 can make the play here of easy because he knows they're pushed up. Let's see what he does here. Even just kind of the actual cruise missile trying to bend it in, but what they've done is they've got so much information, and again, they're just going to push through. This last round for me is just one of those where I just think FaZe they knew they lost. They just didn't want to play. That's what it looks like to me, honestly. BZ goes through, and again, look at this play from Hydra. He makes it one shot. That's fine. Why? Because Kismet's flanking him. He's not even worried about that. Kismet goes through, and look at that. He's just watching the angle. Kismet gets one, just like that, 4v2, and this round's over. He goes through again. Great jump there from Hydra to get the third, and I mean, honestly, the game's over. Sedian by himself, poor guy, 1v4. The bomb goes down. He sees one. At this point, the numbers are going to stack against him, and that is one of the most clinical search and destroy performances we are going to see in a while against one of the best teams in the world. You can see it from their face. They are not happy with that. The series did end up going New York's way. Now, kind of closing thoughts. New York is an excellent search and destroy team. Kismet, 8-0. There's no problems there. However, I think from the side of FaZe, man, I think there was a few throwaway rounds there. I think it really was. I don't think it was one of those scenarios where New York played it absolutely perfectly in every scenario. I think they played really good, but honestly, I feel like there was probably at least 2 or 3 rounds there that I think FaZe really did throw, and this should have been a lot closer. Overall, I think New York could have won this maybe 6-3, 6-4, just based on a few rounds if it went differently, but that's being very optimistic towards FaZe. However, 6-0, I don't think that was fair, and I think FaZe are going to really have to look back at that and see where they went wrong. But YouTube, you guys know the drill. If you enjoyed the breakdown, drop a like, and I will catch you guys for another video tomorrow. Peace.